I'm waking up every day to new payments, new downloads, new purchases. I'm no stranger to making money from the living room, but here's the difference. Oh, y'all see the title, man. How I made $10 from my living room. I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. You probably like, whoop-de-doo, right? $10. Okay, but let me tell you something. I made that from the living room. Let me explain. Something that I don't think I've ever voiced on YouTube before. But if you know me, then you know this to be true. Ever since I was about 12 years old, I knew deep down, I knew that I just wasn't supposed to take the traditional path. I knew that. I don't know how I knew. I just felt it. I remember as early as the age of 12, I remember thinking to myself, I'm looking at all the adults around me. I know the things that they do. I'm looking at the things that people I know, and my friends, my peers, I'm looking at what they want to do. I'm like, I don't really want to be none of that. I don't really care about none of that. I didn't want to be a teacher, a doctor, a lawyer. I didn't want to, you know, work in an office. Like, all that stuff just seemed boring to me. And to this day, it seems boring to me. And that's not a knock on anybody's profession. That's just how I saw it. And I remember when I was growing up, we all, you know how when you 9 years old, you and your friends play football, y'all all on the same team, and everybody thinks they're going pro. You play football, you play basketball, you run track. Growing up, that's just what you thought. You thought you were gonna be an athlete, or you thought, somebody might be rapping. As you become a teenager, you start seeing, okay, that person might be rapping. But it's like we grew up thinking we gonna make it. I remember being in that phase when I was 12. Like, what am I gonna do? What do I like to do? All I liked to do at the time was draw. I enjoyed skateboarding sometimes, and I remember it crossed my mind, am I going to be a professional skateboarder? No, you're not. I got one cut on my elbow, and I was like, I'm done. The cut is still here to this day. I said I was good off that. I said, I'm not going to skate. Drawing, I'm decent. I think I'm better than most, but I'm not no artist like that. I can't just sit and do the crazy things that I see. So I was like, what am I really going to be? And that's when I finally found photography. I picked up a camera. But what in the world? It's a spider that just landed on my camera. But I found photography when I was 15. I literally had this little iPod Touch that I was taking pictures with. I would be in the back of the car, my parents driving. I remember taking pictures of the sunset, right? And at the time, you think these pictures are fire. Let me tell you, anybody who thinks I'm great at what I do with that camera right now, trust me, I was garbage. If I look back at that stuff, I'm not proud of it, but that's what I had an interest in. And I fell in love with it. So I was taking pictures on that iPod Touch. My parents got me my first camera when I turned 17, and I took that with me to college when I left home, and I never looked back. I remember I met one of my greatest friends, one of my best friends. He's like a brother to me. His name is Jordan, and we would literally run around Hampton University, just just going miles and miles off campus, just shooting, taking pictures, being creative, shooting videos. He was posting on YouTube, and at the time, I didn't even know how to edit. I just knew how to frame a shot. But he used to edit the photos. I would just snap them, and I would send them to him. He would edit, and he would be posting on his page. And I wasn't even posting at the time. Nobody even really knew what I was doing, I don't think, until I left Hampton. That was like my first love. That's when I really found something I really enjoy. Fast forward to when I was like halfway through college, I started promoting myself on Instagram. I started getting booked to do photo shoots, and I remember being at home, seeing that notification pop up, somebody booked me. It started out as free shoots. Then I started doing $50 shoots. Then it was 75. Then it was 100. Then I started doing hourly, and now I'm doing packages. But it got to a point where at first, oh my god. At one point in the beginning, it was like, people would DM me, and then I would be like, bet, and then they cash at me, and then I like the deposit, they cash out the deposit, and then I pull up, and then they send me the rest. Then I started getting an automated system where they book me on my website. The notification comes to my phone saying they booked, and then I go do the shoot. So hear me when I say this. You see the title of this video, I made $10 from my living room. I'm no stranger to making money from the living room, but here's the difference. When I was, obviously when I was a photographer, I'm still a photographer, but when I first started doing photography, I was making money from home, but I still had to leave the house and go do the shoot. like spend money on gas, spend my time, and then come back, edit the photos, and then send it to them. And then once they're satisfied, okay, now the money's made and the work is done. But let me tell you what I did. I wasn't even initially planning on making an ebook out of this, but I did 31 days in the gym for January, and I just wanted to document that process and show y'all. I wanted to give y'all content. I wanted to give y'all some motivation. I wanted to give y'all some proof that it can be done. And with the positive response that I got, I just had the thought, like, I should put this in the ebook. I should consolidate all the information that I learned and put it in one place and make an ebook out of it. And that was the game changer. And here's why. I'm not going to act like I got rich off the book, but here's the kicker. I sat down in the crib. I put that book together. It took me hours, though, too. It did. I worked hours on that book. I pretty much went through all the things I learned, because I made 2 YouTube videos on what I learned too. Part 1 and part 2 that you can see on my channel. If I'm gonna add it somewhere up here. But you can see the things that I learned in detail, and I talked about it in those videos. But for the people who won't even watch the video, who just want to read something, you gotta, I think what I learned is that you got to create multiple modes or mediums of content for different people to consume. So you can have that short video like reels or TikToks. You can have long videos that you put on YouTube. You can have an ebook that somebody can read. You can come out with an audio book, that same ebook, but you can read it. I mean, I don't know if everybody gonna do that, but ebook where somebody can just listen to it. Different mediums of content that people can consume so that they can still get the information that you're trying to get across. So I made that book. I don't know, it maybe took me 4 hours, only because I didn't want to just copy and paste what I said on YouTube in the book. I wanted to, pull all the lessons, but I wanted to dive deeper and give more of my intellectual property, I guess, pour it into the book, so that it wasn't just a carbon copy of the YouTube video. So I put it out. And let me rewind. I made the book. I literally sat on the book for like a whole week before I put it out. Why? I'm gonna let you guess. Tell me why I didn't post. Tell me why I didn't post the book or tell people about the book for a whole week. Exactly. I was scared. Literally, it sounds crazy. It's just an ebook. It's not that serious, and it was also free. But I was scared to put it out because it was something about it. I don't know. I think just being completely transparent, I get a little anxious when I cut this camera on. I get a little anxious when I put out a piece of content that's to be consumed or something that is to be purchased. In my everyday life, I don't feel those emotions. I go through my life. I hold my head high. I attack the day. Cool. But when it comes to this social media stuff, it is a challenge for me sometimes, where putting out my work for consumption, leaving myself open to the potential judgment or criticism from others. And it's weird because I don't live my life like that on a day to day. I don't go out here in the world scared that people are going to say this about my haircut or my outfit or the way my voice sounds, or I don't really think about those things. But when it comes to putting together a bundle of work to put on social media, it's crazy. Like, I think I just realized social media can be toxic. I'm not gonna say it is toxic, because in and of itself it's not. It's just that broken people are on a platform just like broken people are out in the world. But it doesn't make social media any different from the world. In fact, social media is literally a microcosm of what's out in the world. It's just that I don't normally encounter that in my day-to-day life. And maybe that's a detriment to me because it's made me not be used to that. But I guess one of the morals of the story is that fear cannot be something that stops you. And I say it all the time. I just saw a video today from one of my favorite people, Alex Hormozy. I mention him all the time. He said, fear is a mile wide and an inch deep. And what that means is, imagine the ocean. You go to the beach, you look at the ocean, it looks terrifying, right? Now, granted, The ocean is literally miles deep when you get out there. But fear is like looking at the ocean. It's just this vast body of water that looks super intimidating. But when you step into it, it's 1 inch deep. The thing that you were afraid of, there was never a threat to begin with. I was scared to put that ebook out. I was scared to post that ebook. And to be completely honest with you, it's like those little thoughts in the back of your mind that's like, what makes you think you can write an ebook? What makes you think you're knowledgeable enough about a topic to put together a book for somebody to get, even if it's free? Because I didn't even necessarily charge for it. I made it so you can get it free, and some people can pay. You can pay if you want. So there was that voice in the back of my head that was like, you don't know enough to put an ebook out. What are you talking about? You don't know anything? How arrogant of you to think you can teach somebody something. That's all the things I'm hearing in the back of my head. I don't think this about me. And that's another thing. Your thoughts are not even you. I don't view myself that way. But it's always them little things that you hear that try to penetrate your subconscious, that try to mess you up and stop you from doing what you're trying to do. Man, nobody's trying to hear that. You can't let that stuff hold you back, bro, because first of all, that's not even you. You don't even really think that. That's the voices of other people that have been projected onto you. That's the voice of the devil. That's all these things, but that's not you. You're better than that, right? There's no way I can't get up in the morning and be my greatest hater. It's gonna be other people that's doing that. Why would you do that for you? Why would you help them do that to you? So, long story short, a week passed by, literally a whole 7 days. I was like, all right, bro, I gotta stop being scared. I put the book out. I put it out, and to my surprise, people loved it. And it's not that I'm really surprised, but it was everything that the voice was telling me that it wasn't. You know, I put it out for free. Yes, a few people got it for free. Nothing wrong with that. I literally set the price to $0. But for the people who paid for it, a few people that did that, I really appreciate y'all. You know, some people did $10, some people did $20, some people did $25, some people did $50. I really appreciate y'all because y'all saw the value in something that I put together, and I offered it. It was an offering for free to y'all, just because I wanted to provide value. One thing I learned, another thing I learned from Alex is that you have to over deliver on value. I don't want to get so caught up in charge, and what you're charging for is not nearly worth what the price tag is. I want to put out things that people think is a no-brainer for them to pay the amount that I say. So I made it free. I want to just over deliver on that value, and people will see the value in it. I got feedback that was like, bro, this book is amazing. Thank you so much for putting this together. So for the fact that I put it together for free makes me feel that much better that people paid because they chose to do that. Now I'm gonna put the link in the description so you can get it if you want it. But that first $10 that came through, I was like, wow, that's what this video is all about. $10 came through. It happened because of something that I did one time. That's one of the beauties of business. That's one of the beauties of products and delivering that to an audience. I did the work one single time. That money came through. They got their product and my job was done. That is the very first time in my life that I've experienced that. Several times I made money at home. I told you. Make money at home, people pay the deposit, and then I go do the shoot, and then I come home and I edit for hours, and I spend time on my edits. Time. Hours on this laptop right here. Send it back. Sometimes they need me to tweak something, edit some more, send it back, cool. But this time I made that book, put it out, payment came through, and I was done. And then more payments came through. I'm waking up every day to new payments, new downloads, new purchases. That's different. That's the power of it, man. What I learned about that, imagine this, $10, right? Not a big deal. But it is, though. But let's just say it's not a big deal. The way I see it, some people might say, oh, you made $10. You should not be excited about that. You haven't made this, you haven't made that. But how I see it is, if you made $10, you can make $100. You can make 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, 1,000,000. Do you know there's people making $1 million off of an ebook that they wrote once? Because they built their platform and their audience up together to the point where they can market something of value to them and they just flood it. There's no limit to the amount of money you can make. That can make me money for the rest of my life. Something I did one time 2-3 weeks ago. That's the power of this thing. So why do I want to build an audience? Why do I want to build this community? I want to be able to get people together who are just like me, like-minded individuals, who, as I learn, as I live my life and I gather these experiences and these lessons, I can pour them into these videos and teach somebody something, help somebody go through something or get through something. I want to be able to add value to the people who are like-minded like me. Personally, I've had a hard time finding like-minded individuals at a higher scale in real life. Like I meet a lot of people who I feel like we're just not on that same page. Like it's a lot. I know a lot of cool people, but I'm still working on finding my tribe, you know, and I think that's what part of this channel is for. I want to find my tribe of people who think like I do, who want to get to the next level, who want to continually develop their personal brand or just their person, just get better overall and seek knowledge, wisdom, understanding. And that's what this is all about. So I just wanted to share that experience with y'all. That $10 was the greatest $10 I could have made because it opened my eyes. Like I seen other people do it, but when I saw that, it was a crazy feeling I felt. It wasn't a lot of money, but my perspective was deeper than that. It was greater than that. I'm like, okay, if I can do this, then I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. It doesn't stop. The sky is the limit. And I don't even like saying that because technically the sky is technically eternal, but to even say is the limit just sounds like there's a limit. I don't even want to subscribe to that, but there's no ceiling to this thing. And if you're just like me doing what I'm doing, there's no ceiling. Like don't allow anybody to keep you down. And I'm gonna talk about that too. But don't allow anybody to keep you down. Don't allow anybody to make you feel like you don't have something to offer. Don't make anybody feel like you're dumb or you're weird or lame for doing what you're doing. If you got the vision, only God only gave that to you. So you hold on to that. You keep doing what you're doing, and you're gonna touch the people who you're gonna touch. As of right now, I know that these videos are not really reaching that many people, but if I remain consistent, it's only a matter of time before the people that need to hear this are gonna hear it. So that's the reason why I'm doing it. I know that if I remain on this path, it's gonna eventually get to them. So I'm not even worried about the immediate response. It's about how it's going to be in a year, 5 years, 10 years from now. And these are videos that are going to remain on the platform as long as they're there. As long as YouTube is a thing, these videos will be here, accessible to anybody who is like-minded that wants to hear about it. So I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm going to be trust me, I got a note full of notes in my laptop. Just all the topics I want to talk about. But I think one of my problems is when I cut that camera on, sometimes as soon as I hit record, I'm like, I just get stuck and I don't be knowing what to say. But it's weird because if you knew me in real life, when I get to talking about something I'm passionate about, I can go forever. But sometimes when that camera comes on, I'm like, and then I had to have my notes and I had to be reading like, oh yeah, that's right. But I'm getting better with it, just getting used to being in front of the camera. Remember, I'm a photographer first. I'm used to being behind the camera. I'm getting used to being in front of it, so bear with me. But I'm going to do the best I can do to make sure that I continue to stay on top of my game and give that value on a consistent basis to anybody who wants to hear it. My name is AUSTINSLENS. Thank you for tapping into this video. Be sure to like the video. Comment what you think, man. Share the video with somebody who needs to hear it. Subscribe to the channel. I'll see y'all on the next one.
Yeah, hey.